Hello, I'm Sketches.n.Scrubs. Thank you for tuning into this video. I make weekly art tutorials, paint-alongs and vlogs. Today I'll be going through my fourth portrait speed painting and talking about some gouache tips for painting darker skin tone. This is the fourth video that I've made, so if you haven't already checked out the others, please do, where I go more in depth on colour theory. To give you a bit of a background, I started a 30-day challenge with Stormy Artistry on Instagram, where essentially we did 30 portraits for 30 days. And I learned so much that I decided to kind of make videos sharing those tips. To start off, you'll need a pencil, watercolour paper, gouache paint. I used Himimiya gouache, some water, and ideally 3 paintbrushes, a flat brush and 2 round brushes. I'll list everything you need and where you can get them in links down below. To give you a brief overview, you mainly need 4 colours plus white to make skin tones, and you mix them differently according to whether you're painting the darkest area, mid-tones or lightest areas. For this portrait, cobalt blue and burnt umber were used to make the darkest areas, burnt umber and ochre were used for the mid-tones, and primarily ochre with a tiny bit of earth yellow were used for the highlights. As I mentioned earlier, I have some more in-depth tutorials, but just to highlight this one, I start off by doing a light wash over the face of the undercolour of her skin tone. I then start with the darkest areas, putting in the shadow so that I really know where the values are, and then work my way up to the mid-tones and eventually the highlights. So at the moment I'm doing the mid-tones, and as you can see it's kind of looking a bit like a similar colour. So at some point I actually go back and just darken those darker areas as well, which is what I'm doing here. And this just adds more depth to the piece. It makes it look more 3D rather than flat. And I just keep going darker and blending as I go along, so it's not as harsh a line. I then start painting in my highlights with the ochre and the yellow. Then while waiting for the rest of the face to dry so that I can go in and put more details, I start painting the background. Let me know down below if you've done a gouache challenge or if you've done a portraits challenge. I hadn't actually done one before this, and I learned so much in doing it, just, you know, understanding gouache and layering it correctly. The importance of having a good sketch, taking a picture of the sketch so I don't lose track of it. And oddly enough, all my portraits ended up being of either black women or black men or some abstract pieces. So it really got me to experiment with blending colours and learning a bit more about colour theory. It wasn't my intention to make everyone black. It just kind of happened. So I do think that if I do this challenge again, I will try, you know, experimenting with different skin tones as well. But I did find it really enjoyable to do, and I found that when I was looking online to kind of get a bit more guidance, there wasn't that much up there, which is why I hope that these speed paintings provide some help and some guidance to anyone who wants to try doing the same thing or something similar. Okay, once the face is dry, I pretty much go back and put in extra details to the face, such as the eyelashes, the colour of the eyes, adding more shading where need be. This is the process that I found worked best for me when painting portraits, and I pretty much used a similar process for all my paintings moving forward, and I go into more detail on that in my other tutorials. This is more of a speed painting to show everything that I mentioned in the previous videos put into practice. So do check those videos out. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought about the challenge so far and which one of your portraits is your favourite, or if you have any tips that I haven't mentioned myself. If you haven't already done so and you found these videos helpful, please subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can catch the weekly videos. This is the final product. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video and that you found it useful. See you next week. Bye.